Alrighty, today is Friday. You know what that means. We are going to deadlift. Headed to headed to the other gym that I sometimes lift out on Fridays. So I have a little bit of time today for once in my life. I've got not a lot of time, but I have a little time. So, you know, we're gonna go out there and see if we can make it happen. I'm supposed to hit a pretty heavy double on deadlifts. I think I'm shooting for 465 today. And I did the math earlier, and I think that works out to be about 210 kilos, which is actually like 462 or 463. I think that's what we're going to do. This is going to be the heaviest deadlift I've attempted in a while. For reps is going to be, I don't know. It's ambitious. I won't say it's ambitious, but I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous. I think if you don't get nervous before your lifts every once in a while, you're probably not training hard enough. It's just my 2 cents. If you walk into the gym every day and you smoke your lifts, you can probably up the intensity a little bit. You want to feel a little bit of nerves whenever you go in to attempt a heavy double or a heavy single sometimes, especially as you get further and further into your program and those heavy singles and heavy doubles start to get heavier and heavier. Week one, or I don't say week one, but the first attempt at a heavy single or heavy double you do might be something manageable. I know on this program, for me, it was. I forget the first time I hit a heavy double, but it was not heavy. At least in my mind, it might have been like 430 or 440 maybe. For two. And then the next time I attempted a heavy double would have been about 4 weeks ago. And I think that was at 450, I think, and I hit 450, and I want to say surprised myself. It was just a nice little win. And so now we're at my third cycle. It's the third block in my program, and now we're attempting a heavy double at 465. So, and then next block we will be attempting a double at 480. So they get progressively heavier as you go, as any program should. Progressive overload. That's kind of the name of the game, right? And I think as they get a little heavier, you should start to get a little nervous. It should be a little bit of a feeling of nerves there. It means that you're doing it right. It means that you're unsure. You're hyped up. You're psyched about it. You don't really know. I'm walking in here today, gonna attempt a double at 462, and hope for the best. Honestly, I mean, I'm gonna give it my all, but I don't know. Based on how my deadlifts have gone recently, in recent memory, since the start of the year, the last time I really had any working sets this heavy was probably like 6 to 8 months ago, whenever I was doing my last peak of 2024, right before I ran my off-season program. That was probably the last time I lifted anything remotely close to this heavy, because once the off-season program started, it was all sets of 6, 5, 4, 3. And even maybe 3 might have been not. I may have not even done threes. It's a lot of volume in the off season. It's lower percentages, right? So I was doing volume work at 75%, but it was a set of 6, right? So it's less weight but more reps. Whereas in this program that I'm running right now, it's a little bit of a mix of both, I would say. We start out every block with sets of 5, and then the next week is a set of 4, and then a set of 3, and then now we're at sets of 2s. So you get a little bit of a mix. But like I said, as I have not really lifted anything like this heavy in a while, so it's coming back into that, especially because at the beginning of the year, whenever I was kind of like testing my maxes, um, weight was not moving well. Weight did not move well at all. I think at the beginning of the year, God, I probably said this 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it one more time. I think at the beginning of the year, I attempted 440 for a double, and I didn't get it. I could not pull 440 twice. I pulled 440 once and attempted a second, but then it was like, well, this is not. I don't even think I got it off the floor, and it's just that's very discouraging for me as someone, because I know like 8 months ago I pulled 525, and so then to walk into the gym and barely be able to eke out 440, you know 3, 4, 5 months later, it's pretty discouraging. um but I understand that that's kind of comes with the territory when you run an off-season style program like that. Whenever you switch from high intensity singles and doubles and expressing strength, whenever you switch the gear to building strength, like building a base of strength in an off-season program, I mean, it's only natural that you lose some strength there. So, but I didn't expect to lose almost 100 pounds on my deadlift. So I've been very timid because of that going into every deadlifting session so far this program, because I'm just not sure. I used to be very sure of myself when it came to deadlifting. um, I kind of knew what I was capable of, and it's just been very uncertain for like the last 6 months. So it's been rough. It's hard to kind of get used to that and feel not so sure about myself anymore, because we took some time off, ran some off season programming, and now with all the high rocks training I've been doing, all the added cardio, and the fact that I just had high rocks 3 days ago, 4 days ago, or whatever it was, and now I'm going into a heavy double on deadlift and squats on Tuesday. My heavy double on squats didn't move fantastically because my legs were still so fatigued. So who knows what today holds, really. It's a gamble. Who knows? Could surprise myself, or could walk out of the gym just very disappointed today. So only time will tell, though. That's the thing, is I'm not gonna know for another probably 30 minutes. So yeah. Hungry. Kind of shift gears here. I make I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday. I'm sure I did, and if I did, then you can skip ahead. But if I didn't, I make the same smoothie for breakfast every morning, and I think I did mention this, so I'm going to try to keep it short. I make the same smoothie for breakfast every morning, and I've done that for like the last 6 months. Probably, well, maybe not quite that long, but for a while now. And well, no, I've made a smoothie for breakfast for like, I don't know, a year and a half. Um, but I've been making this particular smoothie, which is really no different, for like a month or two. Anyways, I went to make my smoothie yesterday morning, same as I always do, same ingredients, same blender, same everything, and I put the little, it's this little single serve like bullet blender, but it's a Ninja. And so I put it on the blender base and started to run the blending cycle, and pretty much immediately, I could smell something smoking, like it smelled like something was burning. And I didn't really think much of it because that little motor in the blender works kind of hard sometimes. It's a powerful blender, it's got like freaking 7 horsepower or something behind it. It's like a John Deere. And didn't think much of it, but as time went on with the little blend cycle that I was running, it was like, yeah, there's definitely something burning. Became very apparent. And then as soon as the blending cycle cut off, smoke started coming out the back where the little vent is. I don't know if you've seen the Ninja, but it's got like a little vent on the back, and some smoke started coming out of there. And I was like, oh, that's not good. Probably should not be doing that. Excuse me. And so the blender shot, I'm not using that thing again. Don't really want to risk a house fire over a smoothie. So I went to Costco yesterday after work, got a new blender, And they didn't have. I had two options at Costco. Well, I had three options at Costco. First option was just like two little bullet blender things with a little bullet blender base. Ninja, same brand, so it was a Ninja. But I didn't want that. A blender, we don't use it a lot, the actual big blender container. Don't use it a lot, but it's just one of those kitchen appliances that I feel like it's nice to have when you do need it to make something for whatever reason. It's just nice to have a blender on the counter if you need it. Um, so I didn't want to get just the bullet. I was looking for kind of the same setup I have now, which is the big blender container and then like one or two little bullet blender things. And they didn't have that. I had the option of just the blender, the big blender, just the two little blenders, little bullet blender things, or some gigantic $165 combo pack that had like a cheese grater, a veggie slicer, two bullet blenders, a food processor, the actual blender, and I just couldn't justify $165 on a Thursday for a new blender when we don't really use the one we have as it is. So I opted for the big blender. All this to say, I opted for the big blender, just a single blender, thinking surely I can find something on Ninja's website like that will fit to this base. Maybe they sell an accessory that I just have to buy separately for this. Nope, they don't. They sell exactly three parts for that blender: the base, the blender container, and then the blades inside. So that was cool. So I didn't have a smoothie this morning. All that to say, I did not have my smoothie this morning like I normally do. So I'm pretty short on calories right now, and I'm hungry. I had a protein shake, just like a little Fairlife protein shake, and 16 ounces of some orange juice. So we're a little behind on the calories department today, and the carbs department for that matter, which is not optimal, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna use that as an excuse if I fail this lift. I will definitely use that as an excuse if I fail this lift. But um, you know, I am hungry, so kind of sucks. So I got to go deal with that now. I got to go get a new freaking blender again. I'm gonna take this one back to Costco and I don't know, try a different store maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But anyways, this I'm gonna cut this video short. I'm almost to the gym, so I'm gonna cut this video short right now because it's kind of running long. We're at like almost 13 minutes. So I'm gonna cut this video and then I'm gonna get to the gym. We're gonna go warm up, and next time we talk, dude, it's gonna be deadlift the clock. So stay tuned. This could go. I don't know. This could go really well, or this could be a gigantic disappointment and ruin my weekend. You know, it's, who knows? Could go either way. Only time will tell. So I'll see you guys soon. All right. I decided not to mic up on my deadlifting just because I was trying to be somewhat focused and in the zone while I worked up to the heaviest double that I had taken in probably 6 to 8 months. So I just decided to focus kind of on that and making sure things were feeling right. This is the last warm up that I took. This was 451, I believe it was 200 kilos. So yeah, here's that. All right, switching the camera angle up a little bit. I wanted to record it like this just so that I had a vertical shot like this instead of the wide frame for what was, like I said, going to be the heaviest double I'd taken in a while. I wanted to have a good upright video of it, so I shot it like this. So you're just going to have to deal with that. But this is 200 and oh god, I have to do math. 210 kilos, I think. See if I'm doing the right. 75, 150, 170, 190, 210. Yeah, 210. So this was like 462, I think, and some change. So for a double, and yeah, here goes nothing. All right, and then this is just, I think I filmed 2 sets of my back downs. Well, this is pause deadlifts. This is 152.5 kilos, so 336. I filmed two, but I only included one of the sets just because it seemed a little unnecessary to ever record and use both. It's the same thing, just twice. But yeah, these move well. I enjoy doing these like right off the floor pause deadlifts. I think they help a lot and they always feel good. So on to hack squats. All right. I didn't line myself up for the deadlifts. I don't know, I'm just kind of locked in on that. So I decided to focus on actually getting the weight up. Like I said, I was a little nervous going into it, but hey, we got it. Working on, I went and did some rowing, some barbell rows. Didn't film that, but we're, SSBs are programmed now. But my knees are kind of tweaking a little bit, or at least my right knee is. I fell on deadlifts. It's been kind of tweaking a little bit, so I didn't want to load up a bunch of heavy weight on SSBs and fuck it up even worse. So just decided to do some hack squats instead. Light work on this. Not gonna do anything crazy. I think 3 sets of 5 is this program. Hopefully this doesn't bust my microphone. Felt pretty good. I mean, I could do this a little heavier. I'm just kind of, I may have a 25. I'm gonna do a 25 on there. 25. If I can find one. Like I said, I'm not really trying to go crazy here. I just didn't want to, I don't know, do an SSB squats with a much heavier weight. I think it's programmed like close to 275. So doing that, I don't know. I was more concerned about not messing my knee up even more. So that's why we're doing this. Taking it nice and easy. know if you notice, but when I do hack squats, my feet are like way up in the top corner here. I know I'd probably, if I can, I'd probably benefit from doing them, you know, closer down here, a little bit narrower stance, but I don't bend that way. I'm not a very mobile person in my joints, especially my hips, my ankles. So it's hard for me to do that. I've tried to squat narrow like that before, and it just leads to pain and injuries. So, you know, find what works for you. And dude, there's no one size fits all for lifting, especially when it comes to like squatting, you know. So, try a little narrower stance this time. It's a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. That's that. Here we go. Yeah, it actually didn't feel terrible. Maybe I'll try to do it a little narrower from now on. Yeah. I'm gonna do a drop set and kill my quads here. I'm gonna do one more set. Just kind of an AMRAP. Right, here we go. Going for 20. Shit. That feels a lot better. Man. My quads are gonna be torched tomorrow. Ooh. Yeah, that felt a lot better. Happy with that. Very happy. Now we're gonna see if we can close. And then again, I did not. This is just some posing, but I did not mic up for this, and I thought while I was doing this, you can see me talking. I thought that the microphone on my phone would pick up my talking, but because I had that little adapter plugged in still to the bottom of my phone for the microphone, and the microphone was off, it was not picking up any audio that I was saying. So you can see me talking to the camera, but obviously, I mean, well, on the original video, there is no voice, and my voice is not there. So just wanted to voice over to say that, let you know that I was talking. I don't remember what I was saying. Probably that I look absolutely fucking mid here. But feeling good, feeling lean, feeling light still, even post high rocks. And yeah, just enjoying this little mini cut that I've been doing while maintaining strength. I'm just been feeling good. I'm feeling good. So I'm going to keep incorporating all the cardio that I've been doing. Obviously, I'm still running. I'm still doing some rowing and just some other stationary bike, other forms of cardio. So I've been feeling good. And I don't know. I think this is probably, the best that I've looked in several years. I know I'm still not looking like fantastic, nothing groundbreaking. I'm not going to step onto an Olympia stage anytime soon, but this is the best I've looked in probably at least 2 or 3 years. So, um, something to be said for that. I've been enjoying it, so I'm going to keep doing it. Anyways, I'll be quiet now and let you watch me finish my absolutely mid posing of my mid physique, but enjoy. Alrighty. Some time has elapsed since the posing room, probably about 10 or 15 minutes. Um, I got caught up talking to the owners of the gym, who super cool people. It's a husband and wife, and they are pro bodybuilders. And the wife did the high rocks this past weekend in the women. I think the women's open. I'm not sure if she did the women's pro or the women's open, but she did the high rocks solo. So I just said, stopped in and said congratulations to her. And then I got talking to the husband too, because she said that she talked him into doing the one in Dallas in I think November. So was just talking with him for a few minutes and about the high rocks, and he was asking me a couple questions. But they're super cool people. I like that gym for that reason. Very friendly owners, very friendly people in general. So, but yeah, so deadlifting today went. Can't ask for a more, better session. 462 for a double. At probably, I don't know. I'm gonna go with 8.5. One more rep for sure. Shot at 2. So I think that I'm happy with that. Happy with that outcome. You know, especially having deadlifting be such a thorn in my side recently. It's nice to have some wins stacked. Helps build confidence again, deadlifting, and it helps obviously strength gains as well. You go from not being able to deadlift 440 for two, and now I'm back up to where I was kind of operating at previously, like for pretty much all of last year. My biggest downfall last year was I peaked too much. I peaked 3 times last year, and so I think I was robbing myself of gains by not running any off season or any other program. I just ran strength programs back to back to back, and I think that overly fatigued my body to the point where I plateaued. And I think that it's beneficial to take some time off from that in the fall and the winter, running the off season program, and then picking this program back up and running it alongside running. I think is a good way to help my body get used to incorporating cardio back in, because I do want to continue to incorporate cardio. And then but I also still want to train as a powerlifter. I like being strong. Ask anybody who's strong, who's like responsibly strong, who's a decently strong dude. And it's fun. It's fun to be strong whenever you are strong and you're safe about it, and it's you train properly. Like being fun is or being fun is strong. Being strong is fun. It's a lot of fun to go into the gym and move heavy weight. Um, so getting to do that is always it's always it's fun. So um, but I also want to improve my cardiovascular fitness. I do still have a 5K coming up on April 6th, I believe. So I gotta maintain for that, because I don't want to run a 45-minute 5K and crash out. I don't think I will. I think if anything, right now, if I tried to run right now, I could probably run a PR 5K just because I'm like fresh off running, almost to the point where you peaked for the high rocks, and then after the high rocks, it's sort of like it's the pinnacle event, and then after that, you just kind of you push your body so far, and then your body recovers and builds back better. So I feel like I could run a faster 5K right now if I wanted to. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it'd be my slowest ever. But the logic makes sense in my head. So, um, but yeah, I may try to run a 5K. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna have time to run a 5K tomorrow. So I think I may try to run a 5K Sunday. My wife has already tasked me with chores around the house tomorrow morning, to include repairing a broken sprinkler head, because her and her mom, while her mom was here, they re- dug out the flower beds in the front and then replanted a bunch of flowers, because all of ours would our flower beds are just a mess from the cold weather that we had recently, and then the flowers were just kind of out of season. So they dug them all up, and then um, replanted a bunch, and so now we gotta mulch them. But it's I gotta repair a sprinkler head before we mulch, because if we mulch first, that sprinkler head will be lost forever. So um, um, yeah, so that's what I'm doing tomorrow morning. I'm gonna go to Home Depot probably 5 times for 3 parts, and get the wrong part twice, and then just sort of from there, we'll repair the sprinkler head. I guess one way or another, we'll get it done. I've repaired like every sprinkler head in that yard, in that lawn, since we bought the house, because they've all just at one point busted. And I have no doubt that whenever I fix this one, our sprinklers are still off from the winter, from winterizing the cold weather. And so I have no doubt that when I turn them back on, I'll find something that's wrong, because it never fails. I always do. And so um, I'm prepared to repair 2 or 3 sprinkler heads, because it seems like I always have to do that. But anyways, all that to say, I'm not gonna be able to run tomorrow probably, which is fine. I'll run on Sunday. I may do the 5K on Sunday, and then like an easy run on Monday. I do still want to keep up with my running, because, like I said, I have a 5K to run coming up, and I gotta I enjoy the running. I want to continue to incorporate it into my fitness regimen. So doing that with this program at the beginning of the year before I move back into like a peaking program, and just sort of getting my body accustomed to the extra stress will be beneficial, I think. So, um, yeah, yeah. But so next week's a deload. I kind of wish the deload had been this week though, because High Rocks on Sunday. But next week is the deload, so maybe it worked out better that way. I don't know. Just in the sense that we got all the high intensity stuff out of the way Sunday through Friday, and then next week I just kind of get to go into the gym and chill more or less. So um, yeah, hopefully that helps my fatigue levels. I'm a little torn right now. I don't know. I don't have any ground beef at the house for lunch. Sorry, I'm shifting gears like repeatedly. I know, but just thinking. I was thinking about this at the gym too. I don't have any ground beef at the house, but we do have food made. There's some chicken that I could have, which would honestly be fine with me. But I kind of like ground beef, and I'm kind of feeling the ground beef vibe right now because um, I don't know. I just kind of am. It's just one of those days. I like having ground beef for lunch. I usually do. So I'm debating whether or not I should go to the store and get more ground beef for my lunch before I go home, or if I should just go home and eat what we have there. Part of me wants to go to the store. Part of me wants to not have that additional time suck. You know, go to the store, get the beef. I'll get other crap too. Oh yeah, we need this. Oh yeah, we also need this. Oh, and we need this too. But decisions. I got to make one fast because the intersection's coming up. So I think I think I'm just gonna go get a pound of ground beef. Given that I had a very light breakfast today, I think I'm just gonna go get a pound of ground beef and eat the whole pound, and with some potatoes, and we're gonna call it after that. Just kind of reclaim some of the calories that I did not ingest this morning because I am hungry. I had like 300 calories so far today, so and I just deadlifted heavy. So I think we're just gonna go to the store and get some beef and make that, and run in and grab it, be done. Because then you have to cook it too. That takes a little extra time. I have to cook the potatoes. It just becomes this whole production, and before you know it, I'm not eating lunch until 1:30. It's 12:40 right now. So, but it is what it is. I'm worried that what people just heard me say is you should overcompensate one meal if you miss another, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm hungry. I was thrown off my schedule today, so I did not eat my usual breakfast. I'm just hungry, and I know I have protein and calories to make up, so I'm going to just make that up real quick because I know at the end of the day, I'll still have calories and protein that I need to hit. And so if I can minimize those numbers now, I'm going to do that. You don't have to overcompensate the way that I am. If you miss a meal, dude, just get back on the horse. Have what you normally have. It's all it takes, man. It's all it takes. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to lose your mind over the calories and protein and all that stuff. You just have to get back on the horse and keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, I'm about to pull into the store, so I'm gonna run in and get this ground beef, and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna cook it up, and I'm gonna have myself a grand old time eating ground beef and potatoes again for lunch. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Hope everybody has a good weekend. I will pick back up on Monday, where we will be doing a deload bench. And yeah, I guess we'll see everybody then. Stay safe and enjoy the weekend. I'll see you guys next time.